Before we go any further, I just want to stress that this video will contain spoilers for Star Wars The Force Awakens. If you have not seen the film yet, do not watch this video. But if you have seen the film yet, you're probably wondering, what the hell do we have in store for Episode 8? Holy shit, I was blown away. Or, holy shit, I was let down. Either one, that's not the point. The point is, I got some people here. We're going to talk about what we expect and what we predict will happen in Star Wars Episode 8, which is set to release May of 2017, directed by Rian Johnson. Joining me is a panel of esteemed guests. First of all, a man who really needs no introduction. I use that a lot. Mike.
Hey guys, it's Mike here from LaughingStock Media, and I always give my own introduction because I'm awesome like that.
Yes, you do. And also a newcomer to my channel, but certainly not a newcomer to this community. But we're talking Star Wars, not Dragon Ball. Please welcome, some people are going to be shocked to hear this name, but he's here, UnrealENTGaming.
I was spawned by Kylo Ren to come here and deliver a message. That being the predictions of Star Wars Episode 8. What's going on, Danny?
Yes, we're talking Star Wars and very excited. And of course, also joining us on this topic is a lifelong Star Wars fan and a lifelong Marvel fan, so you might hear him come back talk about that. Max.
It's a pleasure to meet you all.
Max does not have a YouTube channel yet, but he may soon, so keep an eye out for that. Once he does, we'll let you know. So let's talk about Star Wars Episode 8, all right? I'm going to start with LaughingStock Media. Mike, excuse me, I'm a little sick here. All right, LaughingStock. All right, let me do that over again. All right, I want to start with Mike from LaughingStock Media, who's a big movie guy. Your initial reaction as to Rian Johnson being the director, what direction do you think the film will take? Do you think he's going to try to emulate Empire? Will it be a darker film or as dark as Empire, judging on his previous work?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, just the way that the first movie ended, I feel like it was going to lead into an Empire-esque kind of film, not to mention that they're doing a lot of parallels. But Rian Johnson really has this kind of slow, cerebral direction. He does action, like Looper, for example. There is a good amount of action in Looper, but it's more about the ideas, the concepts, the slow, cerebral thinking nature of the films unfold. Look at Breaking Bad, for example. He directed The Fly, and that was a very polarizing episode, but it was really great because it was so slow and cerebral, and you really got to develop the characters that much more. So I feel like that's really what they're going to focus on the next one. He also did Ozymandias, which of course many people hail as the best episode of Breaking Bad, and that's when all the shit hits the fan. So if they're going to be emulating Empire in a lot of ways, where of course like a lot of stuff really happened, big revelations, big things about characters, then really this is going to be a good director for that, and I think that's the role and that's the direction that they're definitely going to be going in.
All right, Max. Episode 7, The Force Awakens, tons of, like Mike said, surprises. What kind of surprises are we going to be in store for in Episode 8?
Bombshells. That's what we need to expect, because okay, the big bombshells usually begin in, well, the second and third film, because the first film is just the opening, and the opening was dark enough as it is, because if you know the Force Awakens, it's counting on you to know basically what happens in the first three movies. So when you see Episode 7, you're already heartbroken on what happens, and we already know what happens. So I'm not going to go into that one. So that being established, since we're going into Episode 8, then go to Episode 9, we're going to basically we're going to get two bombshells. One in the second movie and the biggest one in the third movie. Episode 8 is where anything could happen, because that is setting the floor foundation for what is going to be explained in Episode 3. Because Episode 3 is where we're going to get the bombshell, where where it's going to explain everything that has happened during the past 30 years that's happened post Jedi to Force Awakens, and because that's all the answers we want to know. And I mean, of course, they're not going to reveal anything, because remember, less is more, so to speak. But it's going to reveal just enough to keep us compelled. Now, with Episode 8, we don't particularly know as of yet, because Episode 8 is where anything could happen.
Do you think in Episode 8 we will see? Do you think we're going to get Snoke and Rey's backstory, or do you think they're holding that off for 9?
Well, here's the thing. I will have to disagree with Mike on one thing, and that not Mike, Max, excuse me, on one thing, and that's the big reveal happening in episode 9. If that happens, there is no traditional continuation that can follow up, and I don't think that's what Disney wants. Disney, I believe, is definitely going to continue after 9 in some way, shape, or form.
It's
so
possible,
in episode 8, I believe that we already have the point of direction in what's going to happen. That being, Snoke wants Kylo Ren to come back, and so he can complete his training. We have Rey, who finally encountered Luke, in many theories and speculation, that being her father. So perhaps maybe she gets the necessary training needed to be obtained in order for her to, like, just potentially unlock her power and maintain it to the point where she doesn't lose control. Where we saw, her fight Kylo Ren in episode 7, where she wasn't really fully, like, into her power. Like, she was able to tap into it, but she wasn't able to fully use it functionally. So I do believe that in Star Wars episode, there's going to be many different bombshells that's going to happen. But what I think is the biggest bombshell is the fact that I think Snoke is going to have just a huge role into this, because if we're gonna see Kylo Ren, right, go back to Snoke, we're not gonna edit that piece out and not see what he's going to teach or show Kylo Ren, as opposed to what people are saying, oh well, they're not going to show off Snoke until episode 9 or whatnot. I believe that they're definitely going to show off the entirety of Snoke, whether he is 7 feet, whether he is 30 feet, whatever the case may be. They're definitely going to show him like just helping Kylo Ren complete his training, by whatever means, either perfecting his saber skills, perfecting the Force, whatever kind of training he's going to give Kylo Ren. I think we're going to see that, and I think we're also going to get to see the completion in Rey's training, because I do feel like Rey is going to be a Jedi that's going to be trained by either Luke or whoever. I don't think, and this is the thing, I don't think Finn is going to be a Jedi by any means, because number one, if you look at it, he wasn't Force sensitive in episode 7. He didn't really he had no connection to the Force, I believe, as opposed to Rey did. Rey had so much of the Force in her that she was able to pretty much do things and know things that Finn did not.
Well, Finn,
I think she sensed the past.
Well, yeah, do you think that Finn might get trained by Luke too, though, in your opinion?
I think Finn is going to be a credible asset, just like for example how we had Luke Skywalker and Han Solo in the previous films. I think we're gonna have that similar scenario where we're gonna have Rey and Finn as I hate to use the word apprentice or like associate, but he's not going to be a Jedi. I do believe she is, but as opposed to Finn, I don't think he is going to be a Jedi. I think he's going to be a very credible asset, a very good warrior to be used in the Resistance, but I don't think he's going to be a Jedi. If by some chance he is, fine, that's cool. We have 2 Jedi, and we have one, I hate to call him a Sith, but we have Kylo Ren.
He's not a Sith.
He's not dead. People are saying
Definitely
he's dead. He's not dead.
In name only.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's not.
but
now let me ask you a question, Alex. One of the things that were kind of cut from Force Awakens was, of course, Captain Phasma. I have thought that part of the subplot of Episode 8 is going to be Captain Phasma still wanting revenge on Finn, because the way they're booking it, bro, is kind of like a WrestleMania type thing where it's Rey and Kylo in the main event, or Snoke and Luke in the main event, they'll double main event. Then you've got Phasma and Finn, and then you've got Hux wanting revenge on Poe for blowing up the Star Killer. So I almost feel like that's the card that we're kind of looking at for these movies. What do you think about that?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And if you pay attention, Hux and Kylo Ren actually had somewhat of like a very like tensionous moment, because like Hux was like, listen, like, you don't want to get in the way of Snoke's plans, do you? Just because of your personal agenda. And he was like, I don't care, bring me the droid. Like, so they had a very tense moment. I mean, especially even when Hux came in, when Kylo was speaking to Snoke. Every time Hux would come in, Kylo would like make that face like, oh, you son of a bitch, like, why are you even here? So I do believe that, yes, Hux is going to he's going to be, reintroduced. He's going to be there. And like you said, that would be awesome. Like, you're going to have Snoke versus Luke Skywalker. You're going to have Kylo Ren versus Rey. You're going to have Finn versus Captain Phasma. You're going to have Poe going up against General Hux. Like, that would be amazing.
He wants to get that X-Wing pilot that destroyed the freaking Star Killer base. Let me ask you something, Mike. We've seen, and everybody can jump in, by the way. It's not just to Mike, but I want to start with Mike. We've seen Star Killer Base destroy 5 planets of the Republic. I'm expecting the Republic to be a little pissed, and we might see an all-out war here. One of the things that The Force Awakens was lacking was a huge space battle. Will we see that in Episode 8?
It's highly possible. The thing is, like, for all we know, they could build up to one the entire movie, and it could be the payoff in the third one. Even though I know Disney wants to go forward in the future and have more movies after 9, I feel like they're still going to keep the traditional trilogy thing, and basically 9 and like after 9 is going to be something else. But I don't know about the space battle. It's very possible. I feel like there's going to be some definite retaliation. There's no way that they're just gonna do that. Maybe
You think it'll be all out war?
Yeah, maybe maybe everything that's beyond the outer rim that they actually have out there is going to actually come out now, and it's going to fight against the actual New Republic. Going back to talking about Finn as a Jedi, though, the thing is, I wish that Star Wars at this point would get away from the idea, and they did this in the original trilogy, but I think that it would be nice if they get away from this idea of the prequels, where basically the Force power is inherited, or the Force power has to do with...
You don't like the hereditary Force thing.
With a power level or some crap like that with midi-chlorians. I wish that they have the idea to bring back the magic and mysticism of the Force, that anyone, if they train, if they believe in the Force, can become a Jedi. And so I don't like the idea that just because Finn might not be Force sensitive at this point in time doesn't mean he can't be in the future, or someone else can't be in the future. They should make it where anyone, if they can actually, train and actually believe hard enough, should be able to do this, because that was one of the magical things about the original trilogy that whole midi-chlorians line in the prequels kind of ruined, in my opinion.
Max,
you're right.
We saw Starkiller Base. What kind of weapon could the First Order come up with that's bigger than that? That
was it. I'm sorry, man. I hate to interrupt, but that was it. That Starkiller Base should have been it. At least keep it for one more movie. Dude,
you think they should have had it for episode 9?
Dude, it wiped out 5 planets with one shot. Like, the Death Star was like a tiny little pebble.
That's another thing, though, because I feel like the series should really get away from super weapons. It should really start focusing more on the Force. Like this dude, this freaking Snoke, should be able to walk into the Republic and kill 1 million people with a thought. You know what I mean? Because the Force. They need to really get away from this whole everything is a super weapon. We got to blow this up at the end of the movie. That's not what Star Wars is about, in my opinion. It's not necessarily just about the explosions and blowing up a big item that's a big MacGuffin in space. They need to focus more on the Force. And I feel like, because Darth Vader in The New Hope, the power to destroy a planet is nothing compared to the power of the Force. So the fact of the matter is, I feel like they really should start moving away from that MacGuffin super weapon. And I feel like blowing it up in the first movie is actually a good idea, because now they can actually have something more significant. Because if someone's powerful enough with the Force, they should be able to do anything, right?
You're absolutely right. And I think you just answered Danny's question in essence, because I do think, Danny, that next weapon, quote unquote, I think it might be Snoke, man. Because again, I personally hate the fact that they blew up the Starkiller Base, just because it had the potential to literally just transition like into the next movies into, like, for example, the Resistance would have more of an excuse to try to fight off the First Order, just because like they have this massive planet wiping out all sorts of solar systems and galaxies. But I think since it's gone, what other weapon do we have here? I think Snoke is it, man. Snoke is that key. Then again, unless of course we get someone who's above Snoke in that matter. But
I don't think so. I think Snoke's the lead heel.
Or we could just have like an all-out war with actual soldiers and stuff, and actually
soldiers and ships.
But don't you guys think the soldiers are dead? I mean, that goes back to what Kylo told Hux. He was like, we should have used the clones. I mean, and then he was like, what, you're not confident in my men's ability?
I thought that was kind of him being kind of poking fun. We should have had a clone army. Max, what do you think? Do you agree with Mike, bro, about the Force being more emphasized? Or do you think we'll see another super weapon?
That's a tough one there. Well, here's the thing. You guys are talking about Snoke, and I hate to be a little bit pessimistic towards this, but I'm only going to speak from a wider audience's point of view, since he sort of appeared in the movie, sort of Thanos style, and sort of just left, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a lot. It's gonna have a lot to take in. Just to show that he's that powerful, and it's gonna beg the audience. Why didn't he do this before? But the thing is, that's kind of what Star Wars is all about. You see, it's more than just the super weapons. It's all about about how large the Force is compared to the super weapons. However, the reason why the super weapons are out there, which I hate to defend the super weapons, the reason why they're made is because those who don't specialize in the Force, they need an overwhelming trump card. The most powerful thing in the universe is the Force. So what better weapon to have than a weapon that can absorb suns and use the power of nature against itself?
I don't like that idea. I feel that that's something like the way I feel about Dragon Ball Super right now, to reference, since we all talk about Dragon Ball, I feel like they need a change in dynamic, and I feel like Star Wars really needs to do one as well, because it's 30-something years later. You got to move forward, stop with the big MacGuffin in space. You got to have something more important. Like, I'd rather see, like, millions of people, like, killing each other in a gigantic climactic battle than like a big weapon that could blow up more things. Like what do they get blow up next? Galaxies? Like, come on.
That's why I think Rian Johnson's a good pick. And not only is he writing and directing the film, but he's also writing a story treatment for Episode 9.
There's only a few Jedi and a few Sith out there, tragically, and they need something out there to give the non-Force users a fight for their money. So in a sense, they need the MacGuffin weapon to give the other non-Force users a ride for their money, while the Sith and the
dark side, basically,
the dark side and the light side of fight for their monies, because the thing is, it's called Star Wars. Everything is fighting.
That's true. It is a war movie, right? Kathleen Kennedy came out a few days ago and said that the entire cast coming back. We did not see anybody die on screen with the exception of Han Solo. Maz Kanata's still alive. Pretty much every main actor is still alive. What's interesting about her announcement is that Harrison Ford was there. Now, will we see Harrison Ford in this movie as part of like a flashback, or that's one question. Then the other question I have for you is, we know for a fact that my boy, one of our favorites, Benicio del Toro, who's going to give me a stiffy throughout the entire 2 hours, 10 minutes of that movie, the most handsome, ugly man ever, is going to be in this film, and he's going to potentially play a villain. Who do you think he's going to play, and what do you think he's going to bring to Star Wars Episode 8?
Well, the thing is that, first off, I think Harrison Ford's character, Han Solo, is still alive, because I saw his parachute when he was falling into the hole, and, but no. The thing is, if he comes back at all, it's got to be, like, either he knew the Force off screen, and he's going to come back as a Force ghost, because why not, or he's going to be in flashbacks, which
I don't like that
possible.
first idea.
I don't like it either, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I know, who cares? But the point is, who cares about your opinions? It's me talking. Seriously, god damn.
Well,
anyway,
yeah, go ahead.
It's my 15 minutes of fame. Anyway, the thing is that, like, I don't know. I don't really know what they're gonna do. And
that's what we're doing, predictions and expectations. So
I know. The thing is, like, what Benicio del Toro is going to be doing, anything he's going to be doing is good, as long as they don't waste him like they wasted Max von Sydow in this movie, because he did nothing in Episode 7. I feel like, for all we know, what we saw of Snoke is actually just, like, the Wizard of Oz, that big head. It's all an illusion. And for all we know, it's actually Benicio del Toro is Snoke.
That could be the case, but Andy Serkis did sign on for all 3 films.
Well, yeah, but they could have Andy Serkis just voice that, illusion. That's
true.
So, they could have that big kind of twist. Maybe he is also Lord Plagueis, and that's what he originally looked like, and he was just a human. We don't know.
What about the rumor that Del Toro, it's fan speculation, Del Toro could be Rey's biological father?
It's possible, but I hope that they at least, make him a big deal if that's the case. Because, the thing is, like, I feel like all the ideas that we've talked about in the previous discussion, which is going to be on Unreal's channel, those are better ideas, because, like, if they just bring somebody who doesn't really have significance outside of this kind of trilogy in here, that wasn't even the first movie, and just say, oh, he's the father, they got to either build him up significantly in the next movie.
That's fair.
Or they got to do something, where he references back to other films. So I kind of hope that, like, if he is Plagueis and he's actually the daughter, he is actually the dad, or whatever it is, I hope that they actually, make it tie into the other films, or else it's kind of just going to be like, okay, that was his dad, that was her dad, whatever.
Well, another rumor that had been going around for a while, is when they were doing the casting for Episode 8, there is a rumor they're casting a female lead to portray Han and Leia's daughter. That they have. Kylo Ren has a sister. What are your thoughts on that, Alex? Do you think that's kind of shoehorning here? Or do you think that that's more borrowing from the EU here with Jaina and Jason or whatever?
Well, I think I don't mind the aspect of him having a sister, because some people are saying that, even to this day, some people are saying, well, his sister just very well might be Rey. I wouldn't
I wouldn't
see a problem with that, but again, having him have a sister, I disagree with that, man. I think Kylo Ren should be the only one here. He definitely needs improvement. I think Snoke is going to give him that, improvement to where he's going to train him completely and allow him to become more ruthless than before. Because right now, Kylo Ren has more to prove and more to go after than ever before. He was embarrassed. He was pretty much bitched out by someone who just started using the Force. And I even told, the other stormtroopers, he was like, find her, because the longer she's out here somewhere, the stronger she is, because she's just testing her power. So, again, there's just so much to look forward to. Now, as opposed to him having a sister, I'm not on board with that completely, unless, of course, as you said before, if they do a double turn with Rey and Kylo, which would be freaking mind-blowing. We don't know too much, and I don't think we are going to know too much in Episode 8, because, again, they're going to build up to Episode 9, and then, who knows from there. But, again, I do think that Episode 8 is going to have the nostalgia. I don't know, I also feel in some way, shape, or form, call me crazy on this, but they might bring back the walkers, man. Like, that would be really awesome if they brought back the giant walkers.
We saw Rey lives in one, and they were there during the Hux speech.
And she had Luke's X-Wing helmet. I don't know if a lot of people picked up on that, but again, it's just like, I do believe in some way, shape, or form they're gonna have, like you said, an all-out war. Because why would you get 5 planets just eradicated, just blown the hell up? The resistance is like crippled. Why would you not have a war? That's all the excuse you need. Those are all the excuses you need to go into war with these people. But again, we do know that the First Order is severely crippled. Like the entire army that they had during the middle of the film when they showcased.
Yeah, they retreated. Yeah.
Like, they're all gone. Like, so what's there to fight with here? Unless they pull out the whole clone car, which I really doubt. But if they just so happen to do that, then hey. But again, like, how are you supposed to go to war when half of your men are dead?
Well, Danny, I want to say real quick.
Yeah.
I hope in this next movie that we're actually going to see Star Wars, because like they've been teasing that for decades, and those stars aren't really doing much. I want to see them go to war with each other. Throwing those punches, solar flares, all that shit. That'd be cool.
Captain Phasma, bigger role in this movie is what we hear.
Probably.
The idea behind her chasing Finn's going to be a subplot here, because I really see it. And here's my question I'm going to go to Alex on this one. Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia. Her husband just got killed. Her son's in the dark side. A, how is she going to react to this? And B, do you think that Episode 8 will give us the Kylo Ren, Princess Leia, General Leia face-to-face?
Oh, that would be amazing, because number one, she has all of the reasons in the world to confront her son.
That's his mother, dude.
Like, that's his mom. I mean, but again, I don't think he's gonna kill her off, because that would be a shocker if he did, to kill off both mother and father. I do think, however, that she is going to have more of an impact on him than how Han did. And what I mean by that is I think that when they confront each other, I think Kylo's going to be like, he's going to say something like, oh, blah, 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 my mom. And I do think she's going to like explain to him certain things, like why they had to send them off, or maybe because remember, like,
we never really don't even know. Yeah, that's
exactly.
Another unanswered question.
She did say, I wish that he went to go train off with Luke, but instead they sent him off and Snoke picked him up or whatever. So I think
she did.
No, I thought that she sent him to train with Luke.
And she's wishing she never did that.
Well, was that? I don't know. I could have swore she said, I wish that he were to train with Luke.
No, she sent him to Luke. Remember, he's the one who betrayed Luke and killed all the Jedi students.
I wish that Luke had trained her like he was supposed to.
Well, I agree with that.
Would have been great. But again,
that's the thing. She's Force sensitive, so it's going to be different when Kylo sees her.
Absolutely, and I don't think he's going to kill her. I do think that she's going to have more of an impact with words than how Han did. And that all varies, because by the time she sees him, and for those of you out there wondering if he's going to wear the same gear, no. Because if you pay attention to when he went after Chewie and everyone else, he left his mask on that little bridge, so he's not going to be wearing the same stuff. He's going to come back more ruthless than ever. He's going to have a nice, beautiful scar on his face. Probably takes his mask off and it's Al Pacino. No, I'm just kidding. But again, it's just... like, imagine that, Scarface pulls out a Tommy gun.
Too much.
But again, I do think that she is going to confront, her son. Why wouldn't she is the question. But here's the thing: it's like, how is she going to run into him?
Right before she confronts him, she wipes all that excess cocaine off her nose. Hey, Kylo, how you doing, man?
You're a dick. All right, Max. Yeah? What do you think about Oscar Isaac, Poe Dameron in this film? He just blew up the biggest freaking weapon they had. Is he just gonna? I feel like he's gonna have a bigger role in this film. I feel like the people who didn't get a big role in 7 are gonna get a bigger role in 8. What do you think? Mike, Lupita Nyong'o as Maz Kanata. I think she survived. Are we gonna get the answer as far as where she got Luke's lightsaber from, or is Luke gonna tell Rey? I mean, what's gonna happen with Maz Kanata? Because she's still around. She's like the Yoda kind of.
I'm sure she's going to come back. I hope next time she's a puppet, because there's no reason why they made her CGI, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if they bring her back. I think that they're definitely going to.
Well, remember, we didn't see her die once.
Exactly, which means she's probably alive.
I'm sure she's alive. They would kill her on screen. I mean, the thing is that the rebels fought off the other people that were coming to try and kill everyone. So I assume that she's still alive and fine.
Alex, man, your thoughts on the General Hux Kylo Ren relationship? How do you think that's going to play out in episode 8?
Man, if Hux bumps into him, if they encounter each other again, it's going to be more tension, because there was a lot of tension in episode 7, and clearly I think that they disagree with a lot when it comes to relations, because Hux wanted one thing done, Ren wanted another, so there was a lot of confliction going on. So I think if they bump into each other again, I think Hux is probably going to mock him, saying, wow, such a powerful being you are, defeated by someone who just started to tap into their power. And I do think, in some way, shape, or form, Kylo's going to kill Hux.
Lando Calrissian, is he going to find out in this movie that his best friend's dead, and will Billy D. Williams reprise the role? Excuse me.
Oh, wow.
I think yes. I think there's a guarantee, because he was at the premiere.
You know what? I'm gonna place my bets on that, honestly, because he was technically a big character in 2 movies. So honestly, it's highly possible. I mean, more than highly possible, because I mean, you can't just take a character from Empire, the most popular Star Wars movie ever, then Jedi, and then just have him not show up in this movie, and then not show him ever again. No, he has to return. You don't do that. I'm sorry. He's going to return.
They should bring in Carl Weathers to play him and see how many people notice.
That's fun. All right, this is the last question before we get out of here. All right, last question. Two-part question for everybody. All right, I'm gonna start with Max, and then go to Mike, and then Alex. All right. 2-part question. 1, if this is going to be like Empire, that means the First Order is going to kick everybody's ass in this movie, and they're going to put a lot of heat on the good guys so that in episode 9 they can get out. Do you think that'll happen? And the second part of that question is, will Luke Skywalker die in this movie? Go.
If it's anything like Empire, if the darkness is not going to calm down anytime soon in this new trilogy, then yes, dark stuff is going to go down. These guys are... Kylo Ren, he puts the intimidation factor forwarding the First Order. These guys are
ruthless, and they are.
They're ruthless. They're a terrifying group to ever encounter. They have so many tricks that are completely unpredictable, that to the point where Ren just wanted to fled the galaxy. He wanted to flee. Yeah, Finn. I'm sorry, Finn. He wanted to flee the galaxy. He was like, "Fuck this! I'm out of here." He wanted nothing to do with any of this, because they are that fierce. The biggest bombshell is not going to happen in the 3rd movie, but it's going to happen in the 2nd movie. Reason being is because it's going to set the floor foundation for everything.
What do you think, man? Is the Empire? Is the First Order going to run roughshod, and does Luke die?
I think that the First Order is going to have that cavalry march across and over the horizon and into the galaxy from beyond the Pale, and they're going to kick some ass, take some names. Snoke is going to reveal himself in a bigger way. Del Toro is going to be doing Del Toro things, and
being Puerto Rican.
Yeah, the good guys are going to be good guys. So yeah, that's what I expect to happen in the next movie.
Is Luke dying?
I don't think so. I think if he dies in the last movie. If he dies, he dies.
I will say this. I hope we see more of the galaxy. I want to see more of the Republic. I want to see more of... Because we saw a little bit of it in this movie. We didn't see enough. I think I want to see a lot more.
I want them to open it up. They didn't really even explain the difference between the Republic and the Resistance in the movie, so hopefully they do a little bit more with that next time.
Yeah, you got to get the books and the guidebooks.
That's what I was about to say, Geekdom. Didn't you say there was certain
stuff in the novelization?
Yeah, there's certain stuff in the novelization that was hinting at a few things.
Well, Disney wants you to go out and buy the all the books so you
Obviously.
can get the whole story. Yeah, I mean it's not crucial to the plot as of right now, but I do agree they should explain it a little bit better. I did think they didn't explain the Resistance that well. I thought they kind of failed on that, but
we're in the money.
All right, Alex, your prediction for First Order: are they gonna run roughshod, and is Luke gonna die?
Oh, to answer your first question, absolutely. I mean, it gives both parties a reason to fight. Number one, you had the Resistance planets getting blown up to fucking hell, and then you had the First Order, in which case they lost their supermassive weapons. So I think it gives both parties a reason to tear each other's heads off. So I do think that they're definitely going to fight. In terms of Luke dying, no, I don't believe that's going to happen. But what I do think is that he is going to have.
Is he going to fight Snoke?
That's a good question. I'll say this: I do think he's going to have a lot of influence going into the next film, in terms of the connection with Rey and Finn and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of dying, no. In terms of being injured, perhaps. But in terms of fighting Snoke, if that's supposed to be the be-all, end-all, I don't think that's going to happen in this next film. I think it's going to happen in Episode 9 because that gives them more of a reason. Perhaps maybe they encounter each other and they have some, exchange of words, and then maybe one gets away, one, doesn't, whatever the case may be. But I don't think they're actually going to, fight. But in terms of him dying, no. In terms of him encountering Snoke, yes. But in terms of him, actually going to war with Snoke, I don't think so. Perhaps maybe he might fight Kylo Ren. That would be more plausible, true. Luke versus Ren. But I don't think it's Snoke. At least not yet. Not yet.
Yeah. Okay. We know for a fact that Skelly Michael Allen scenes have already been shot. We know that Daisy really saw the script and said it was very, very good, which of course she's going to say that because she's on the movie. Mm-hmm. But I do believe that. But I am very curious about Del Toro. We don't know for a fact that he's a villain, but we know he's in the movie. Really, Del Toro is one of those... And no disrespect to anybody else, he might be the best actor in these movies. And that sucks because Force Awakens showed these guys can act, all right? But as far as pure acting chops, dude, Del Toro has been in some masterpieces like Traffic, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Che. Who knows what he's going to bring to the table. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I want to know what you think down below if you sat through all this, which I'm pretty sure you did. Episode 8. What are you looking forward to? What are you speculating about? Let us know down below. And, of course, check out LaughingStock Media. Check out UnrealENTGaming. Entertainment sounds more entertaining. And check out the videos that are also on their channels, like discussion videos. Is Star Wars The Force Awakens 2 months like a New Hope on Mike's channel? And is Rey Luke's daughter? And be on the lookout for Max in the future if he decides to take this thing to the next level.
I'll be sure to think about it.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody, and we'll catch you down the road.